Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. We are the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, and you have joined our How to Do Business with the City of Chicago. I am Marchette Turner, Director of Corporate Services for the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. Let me just go over a few housekeeping rules with you, and then we will get started. To all of our presenters, before you start speaking, please wait 3 seconds before you start your comments, as we need to make your mics live. We also want you to know that all mics have been muted until a question is asked of you. So we will now get started. I will introduce our guest panelists to you. And I'm sorry, City of Houston. Did I say City of Chicago? Yes, I will now introduce our guest panelists to you. We have from the City of Houston, Ms. Karen Franklin. She is the Community Involvement Coordinator for the City of Houston Housing and Community Development Department. She is responsible for the increased participation by qualified businesses and eligible persons in the City of Houston and surrounding counties, while building partnerships and trusts that projects administered through the Housing and Community Development Department will provide preferences to minority women and small business enterprises and Section 3 businesses and residents. A little bit about the City of Houston's Community Development Department. They provide leadership and financing to make affordable homes and neighborhood revitalization happen here in Houston. The department administers over 100 million annually in various federal, state, and local programs, with a recent allocation of 1.2 billion for disaster recovery from Hurricane Harvey. Project types administered consist of public facility, infrastructure, single family, multifamily, professional services, and purchasing contracts. Of these projects, Section 3 requirements are triggered on contracts in excess of $100,000 with HUD funding. That is, again, Ms. Karen Franklin of the City of Houston. And then we have Mr. Jason McLemore. He was appointed the Deputy Assistant Director of the Office of Business Opportunity for the Houston Airport System in November of 2012. His responsibilities include facilitating and promoting the utilization of certified disadvantaged minority, women, and small businesses in Houston Airport System's professional services, construction, purchasing, and concession contracts. Prior to joining the Houston Airport System, he spent 6 years as the Executive Director of the Greater Southeast Management District. In that role, he oversaw 2.1 million annually was his budget, including federal funds, with the main purpose of bolstering the economic development of the 30 square mile area. That is Mr. Jason McLemore. And finally, also from the City of Houston, we have Mr. Will Norwood III. He serves as the Division Manager for the Houston Public Works Office of Business Opportunity. He is responsible for advocating, promoting, and creating access to Houston Public Works contracts and procurement opportunities for small minority women-owned business enterprises. The department is responsible for the administration, planning, maintenance, construction management, and technical engineering of the city's infrastructure. Previously, Will served as Business Development Manager for the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity, where he assisted small, minority, and women-owned businesses in navigating through the city's procurement process. Will received his bachelor's degree in administration and minor in economics from Morehouse College, and his executive MBA in global leadership from the University of Houston. So please help me welcome all three of our panelists for this How to Do Business with the City of Houston. I would like to now turn it over to our moderator for today, Ms. Ingrid Robinson. She is the president of HMSDC.
Thank you, Marchette, for that great introduction. And we have our powerhouse of panelists here, our City of Houston experts, which are the people that we often go to all the time for information and understanding how to do business with some of the City of Houston's areas where there's a lot of utilization of minority-owned businesses. Yes. So we'll start with Karen. I know that there are a lot of opportunities with the city. The city has a large and I guess diverse group of departments, all of which have procurement opportunities. And in your area especially, there's a lot of Harvey recovery dollars and others that are still being spent. So can you sort of help us understand a little bit more about how minority-owned businesses can look for opportunities with the City of Houston and how that engagement with the city can translate into dollars?
Absolutely, Ingrid, and thank you so much for allowing us, myself and my colleagues, to join in this important conversation. As Marchette read earlier, there's a wealth of opportunities just within our three departments represented here on this morning, but far over that, we're here to ensure that we're able to impart that important information to the audience and equally each of you. So let's take a look at it. Within the Housing and Community Development Department, our vision is to ensure that everyone has a home that they can afford a home of their own, and that they're able to thrive within the community in which they serve. And this morning, Marchette, you talked so much about our key priorities and what we do. You know, I'm here this morning to share a quick video to give you a glance, more granular of who we are, what we are, and how we go about bringing forth and bridging these opportunities to the MBEs and the small business community. So let's take a look. Are you seeing the change of my screen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's try this again here. I know I want to be able to, that's why I wanted to be able to make sure the audio. Marchette, is anyone, Clifton or yourself, able to pull it up? You may see it, but I'm not sure if the audio is. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's try it again here. Thank you all for bearing with me. Yes, I want to share. I want to include the audio. Okay, here we go. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I heard it, yes, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed.
A lot of people are wondering, what exactly is the job of the Housing and Community Development Department? As one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, Houston is adding people and opportunities every day, but we need to make sure that we're growing together. Our department works to create housing opportunities that people can afford in the communities that matter to them. For a lot of our downtown workforce, we're working on keeping affordability close by, with multifamily developments like the new Hardy Yards apartment homes. For communities that have spent generations here, we're stopping families from having to leave because of rising housing prices. We're building new homes in Houston's complete communities and repairing homes that have been damaged by wear and weather. We want our residents to have a safe place to live and gather their families. But community isn't just about the roof over your head. We also sponsor hospital branches, community centers, libraries, and more. We support the great work of organizations like Avenue CDC and Coalition for the Homeless, which are giving our residents the services that will improve their lives. We envision a Houston where everyone has a safe, affordable home in a community where they can thrive. For more information, please call us at 832-394-6200 or chat with us on your favorite online platform.
So that was just a quick glance of the various services that we offer and how we can ensure okay, so let's make sure I get this closed out. Okay, I apologize for that technical difficulty on my end. So let's just take it back to the screen. Are you able to see my screen back now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so what you saw in the video, that gave you a breadth of who we are within housing and community development on behalf of the city of Houston. We recognize the importance of our MBEs and the persistence, the patience, and the perseverance that they bring to the table each and every day. And in bringing forth those opportunities, we're here to make sure they know how and what opportunities lie before them. In talking about our primary objectives, we work collectively within our core areas as advocates, instructors, regulators, mediators, and mentors to help our small businesses matriculate through our pipeline of opportunity through the programs that we manage within contract compliance. You'll see on the screen, we focus on the key areas of the minority, women, small business, Section 3, our portfolio compliance, which takes place after construction is completed, and wrapped within those program areas are community involvement, ensuring that we're out on the ground, making sure that each of you know about the opportunities that are before you and how to best plug in. So oftentimes you say, where are those opportunities and where is the money in essence? So our primary objectives are driven by way of two areas. We have our entitlement funds and our disaster dollars that Marchette spoke of initially on the introduction. And they're broken into four categories: affordable housing, supportive services, public improvements and infrastructure, and equally as important, economic development. And all of those areas bring opportunities for our small businesses. Before you, it's a glance, it's a snapshot of some of those areas that we have dollars allocated and committed. And this is from our third quarter from last year, and we have it broken down into our key areas from our multifamily, single family, infrastructure, and disaster. Whether it be all four of those areas will touch these key program areas. So let's take a look at when we talk about our single family, our commitment for our single family was at 63 million. And then of course it shows you the other examples. For multifamily, the commitment was at 91 million. And then as Marchette has referenced, our disaster solely just for Harvey dollars, that's at $1.2 billion. And the disaster dollars, it's really important to understand, it doesn't end just with that pool of dollars. Mind you, we still have engagements and opportunities that exist within our Disaster 15. And unfortunately, as we are in the middle of hurricane season, disasters do come. And when they do come, we mobilize and make sure that we're in a position to help protect our neighbors' properties and equally to best mitigate flooding and challenges that comes to bear when we're talking about flooding and those disasters. But more importantly, we just want to make sure for this season, as we continue to take stock in HMSDC and our continued community partners, that we are here to ensure that you know of the opportunities and how to contact us and equally how to plug in. Now, before you have a glance of going to our procurement, which is found on our website, we equally encourage you to visit us on our social media so you can see engagements and opportunities and pre-bids that are being let on real time. And we also brought that you'll be able to see some information that will be shared a little bit later by Marchette. Some of the other departments, such as IT and general services, that are not a part of today's discussion, but they do want to make sure, we collectively want to make sure that you have the information that's available for you now and how to best plug in and who those contact persons are. And you'll find, as I prepare to close on my presentation, and here's my contact information, our direct number, where I can be reached, my email, and equally where we are physically located. Now, we recognize during this COVID period, our engagements and our efforts has to be virtual right now, but that does not erase our commitment and our resolve to continue to make sure that we are able to deposit resources, be available to share the what, where, how, when, and whys, and how to align your agency as well as the individual businesses to the opportunities that we have available. We'll entertain questions at the end, and I'm very glad for the opportunity to be able to present to you this morning. And thank you, HMSDC.
You're on mute.
Ms. Robinson, you're on mute.
Thank you. I often do that and forget to take myself off mute, and I'm just talking to myself. So now we'll hear from Jason McLemore, Deputy Assistant Director of the Houston Airport System. Jason, I know that you are responsible for ensuring that minority women and disadvantaged business enterprises have opportunities to participate in contracting at the airport system. I know prior to COVID, there was tons of activity and work that was underway. And so can you share with us a little bit about if that work is continuing and where those opportunities are for MWDBEs to be able to participate in contracting opportunities and expansion efforts at the Houston Airport?
Well, good morning, Ingrid, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak to you and all your members. On behalf of Mario Diaz, who's the director of the Houston Airport System, we'd like to thank you for allowing me to talk to your members directly. Let me start off kind of answering your questions. I know that people are looking at the news right now and they see that the traffic at the airports is down significantly. But what we're doing at the Houston Airport System at this point is ramping up all of our construction, all of our projects. In a lot of situations, construction work can only go on at certain times of the day because of all the high traffic This is our opportunity to now say, well, since the traffic is low, we can definitely ramp up what we're doing. So we've got much more of our runway projects going on. Our terminal projects are going full-fledged, full steam ahead. So this is definitely an opportunity for all of your members to get involved. Before I go into a couple of the slides that I have today, I would like to encourage all of your members to attend all of our virtual pre-bids. That would be the best opportunity to find out what's going on. My email is in the presentation of how you, I'm sorry, not the email, the website of how you can get information on these projects. But definitely, hopefully, after this, if your members choose, please give out my email address. If your members or you are not getting our e-blast that tell you when and where our pre-bids are, please don't hesitate to send me an email or call the office. We still do have people in the office, and then we also have people operating remotely. So I'm going to go ahead and share a presentation, a couple of slides that we have right now, so that you get a sense of what we actually have going on. So I spoke a little bit about the runways. So when you look at things like the reconstruction of taxiways, it is reconstruction. That's full depth replacement. So if any of your members are a rebar, or they supply concrete or conduit, electrical, stormwater, all of those things are going to be part of when we do these runways and taxiways. Realignment of non-standard taxiways at Hobby, $24 million. If your members are planners or they are in the professional services realm, there's another $40 million on-call planning project that we're anticipate coming out. A huge flooring in the central concourse at Hobby. Children's play area, we're going to redo that to give children another option when they're sitting waiting on their flights when traffic picks back up. The terminal management office, so interiors. We purchase everything at the Houston airport, everything from toilet paper to runways. So we definitely, if any of your members supply those things, we just definitely got to get you in touch with our buyers. FIDs and bids, if you're not aware, those are all the monitors that let you know when the flights are on time and what gates they're going to all throughout. We're going to be changing all of those out system-wide. On-call financial services. TSA K9 bunker relocation at Hobby. Moving on to projects that are going on at the airport, but not necessarily going to be procured by the city of Houston. These projects that I'm looking at, that I'm showing you right now, are going to be procured by Austin Gilbane, but they're still City of Houston projects in the sense that all the requirements, the minority participation, the goals are all on there. So these are the things that they've got coming out, and the first one I believe is actually on the street now for site utilities, paving, sterile corridor foundations. In Q2 of 2021, you've got more underground utilities and foundations and slabs. And then for the fourth quarter of 2021, structural steel, roofing, slab, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and the glazing of the glass for the windows. Moving on again to the second quarter of 2022, interior finishes, drywall, flooring, and this is where you have a lot of your small and minority and women-owned business participants. So we definitely, the goals are just over 30% for a lot of these things. This is actually being procured by Hensel Phelps for the Federal Inspection Station. So evacuation structure building, demolition, refurbishment. This is where when you've taken international flight and you fly into that big open area, when you go through customs, this is immigration. I mean, we're going to be refurbishing that to expand the capacity. So you've got baggage handling systems as well. So that's all we're going to talk about that I can talk about today. Again, this is the website that you can go and look at all of our opportunities for the Houston airport system. And then I can get you in touch with Hensel Phelps or Austin Gilbane if you were interested in some of those options. So with that, I will turn it back over to Ingrid.
You're on mute.
All right, thank you so much, Jason. I am going to, by the end of this, get my mute button right. But I would now like to welcome Will. Will, you have been a proponent and advocate for minority businesses for a long time and have been engaged in identifying opportunities for MBEs within the city in all of your different roles. And so now you're tied up really closely with the infrastructure. And so we'll blame you for all the construction that we see on the streets. But I think with that shows is a visible sign of all the opportunities and the infrastructure projects that are going on in the city of Houston. And so with you being at Public Works and having insight into that, how can construction and I'm going to assume professional service firms engage with the Department of Public Works to identify opportunities for them to participate in some of those infrastructure projects taking place around the city? And secretly, I will send you a couple of areas if you could get those taken care of for me so it makes my commute look easier, then I would really welcome that. But can you share with us how we do that with the city of Houston?
Okay, well, yes, first off, that is not my department to handle all the bumps and potholes, but we are constantly working on that. So first I'll say good morning. Hopefully everyone can hear me. And also hopefully everyone can see the screen.
We can.
Perfect, okay. So my name is Will Norwood, the division manager for the Houston Public Works Office of Business Opportunity. So I want to thank you for allowing us, the Office of Business Opportunity, Houston Public Works, to be a part of this doing business with the city. As you know, Public Works has not missed a beat. We are still open for business as the city is open for business, especially Public Works, because with everything going on, the pandemic and all the unrest, people still need to cut on their water. People still need to be able to move and flow, even though it's not that much traffic, but there are still people moving to and fro to work, to school, to all the other places that they need to go to. And with a lot of the City of Houston employees, especially with Houston Public Works, we are essential. So while we're hoping that everybody is staying masked up with their mask on and hopefully social distancing and staying at home if at all possible, Houston Public Works is still out there making sure that the infrastructure is secure and that people are still able to function throughout the city of Houston. So I commend them and all the other essential workers that are out there still making sure that we're safe and able to function as much as possible. So thank you for that. And thank you for allowing me to share this opportunity and opportunities that we have with Houston Public Works. One of the things that I like to do to make sure, especially with HMSDC, is to make sure that the members understand what encompasses public works, because not all public works departments are created the same throughout the state and throughout the country. So I want to do an overview of the department and how to do business with us. So first, let's start with a couple of vast facts about Houston Public Works, and you can see them on the screen. I'll point out a few of them that people might not know. So one is the largest civilian department with the city of Houston. It's actually the largest public works department in the country based on all the things that we cover and all the areas that are within Houston Public Works here. Maintaining over 2,400 traffic signals, 60,000 manholes, 16,000 lanes of streets or miles of streets. So we do a lot. We have a lot of things going on throughout Public Works. And I've already done that, but I definitely want to thank our essential heroes that are out there making sure that we're still functioning and thriving in this city. So we have over 4,000 employees, and we have people operating around the clock 24/7. We are divided up into mainly 5 sections, and I'm going to go over these sections, or what we call service lines, to make sure everybody understands based on the type of work that you're looking to do with Public Works, or the area of services or products that you have. You can understand where you would fit within Public Works, and I think that's very important. So let's start with capital projects. So capital projects is one of our largest service line areas. So they deal with all of the capital improvement programs, the CIP. So if you see council members reaching out to you or sending you emails about meetings that are happening in their particular districts, talking about all the work that's going on or that's planned, those are CIP projects. And capital projects are the ones that do that. So when you think of multi-year big projects, the different service lines, so like TDO, water, different areas will hand those projects over to capital projects to help them, and they can manage those things. So for our multi-year big contracts and new construction type of projects. So we move on to Houston Water. So that includes our drinking water, our wastewater, the plants, so our purification plants. We have one in the southeast. We have the big, huge northeast water purification plant. If you're out in that area, that's a project that's going on for quite a while and still have a few phases to go. We have actually over 100, I know, a couple hundred of subcontractors and certified firms that are working on that project. So at any given point, we could have hundreds of employees out there, or hundreds of individuals out there working on different projects for these certified firms. So a lot of opportunities that are going on with the new project, as we call it, the Northeast Water Purification Plant. So then we have Houston Permitting Center. Some people might be familiar with the Houston Permitting Center if you had to wait on permits or get your plans reviewed. Also different licensing services. So if you operate the type of business that, retail or a restaurant or something like that, then you've had to deal with Houston Permitting Center, and that is under Houston Public Works. So you ever been to the building off of Washington? Really nice building. Hopefully the plans and your things that you're taking care of over there at HBC are moving smoothly, and hopefully moving a little faster now, just during this area, or during this time that we're in right now. But they don't have a lot of opportunities as far as, because they're not over the construction and the engineering services, but they do have smaller opportunities when it deals with any type of training, maybe also some IT things that they have to do. So those could be opportunities with Houston Permitting Center. We have transportation and drainage operations. So when you think of our bridges, when you think of street signs, traffic lights, things like that, that is this area. So if you are in drainage, stormwater maintenance, excavating, ditches, those type of things, if that's your area of services that you offer, then this would be the area that you want to look and pay close attention to. And they also house the Houston TransStar, so dealing with all things traffic. Then we have our customer account services. So billing, the meters, checking meters and going out there in the field. They average a lot of calls, over 600,000. And the field operators are covering a lot of miles, making sure they're going out there and checking those meters and doing maintenance. So if there's anything dealing with water maintenance, water lines from homes. This would be kind of that area that you would want to focus in. Anything that can support call centers, if that's your area of service, or you have any products for that type of operation, then this would be the area that you will want to focus on too and find out opportunities for. So about us. So Houston Public Works Office of Business Opportunity. So this is what some of the things that we cover in our operations. So we're responsible for advocating, promoting, creating access to the contracts that we have in Houston Public Works. And we have a concentrated focus on our certified firms. So our minority women, men, small businesses in those areas. So some of the things that we do is we do plan reviews. So if you are ever on a contract with the city, you're successful and you either are doing business with Houston Public Works as a prime, or if you're listed as a sub, we review some of those plans to make sure that the prime is listing the proper information to have you as a sub, to make sure that the work that they're saying that you're going to perform, that you're actually certified in those particular areas. So we're doing those things and making sure that the primes, if they are saying that they're going to meet a goal, we're reviewing those to make sure that the numbers add up, that percentage and those dollar amounts that they say will actually hit the goal in their plans. So we're working for you in that area. Also supporting the service line. So when they're trying to identify certain companies in particular areas and the services that they offer, we're advocating and sharing information so that they'll know how to reach out to our certified companies that are in our directory that is housed in Office of Business Opportunity. We're also helping them to understand the requirements of the MWBE program for the city. And then now when it's time to close out the projects, we're reviewing those things to find out and partnering with the OBO to make sure that they get the proper rating to show that they made the good faith efforts to meet the goals, or that they actually met or exceeded those goals. So we're monitoring and helping and assisting our service lines with the connections with the Office of Business Opportunity, kind of acting as that liaison to make sure that those things are properly taken care of. We also are responsible for the Pay or Play program, just to make sure that if the prime contractor or some of the subs, if they're making sure that they're offering insurance to their employees that are working on our projects, and if not, then they're paying into our Pay or Play program to help offset some of the costs for the uninsured in the Houston area. So our small business programs, how are we supporting our small businesses and companies like the ones that are on this call and that are members of HMSDC. So one of the ways we do that is through our interagency mentor protege program, which we partner with other government agencies here in the Houston area, like Metro, the Port, HISD, HCC, and Houston Community College. And so we all came together and said, you know, a lot of these businesses, if you're trying to do business with one, then you're trying to do business with probably the other agencies as well. And so we came together to combine our resources to provide a program where we can connect the mentors or the proteges with the mentors. So mentors are companies that are either pursuing business or doing business currently with us. And we offer that connection to help foster relationships and also just to help share best practices and things that are used by some of the larger firms, and they can assist with helping to scale and grow some of the our certified firms. We also have our small contractors rotation program. So we are just now kicking off a small contractors rotation program 2.0, and it's a 2-year program for small contractors where we have bidding opportunities where they're competing just against each other on smaller contracts that are under $50,000 with the Houston Public Works. So we had success in 1.0, so we decided to do it again. And now we have 7 contractors that are participating in this program. That's going to start off with bidding on projects. We're helping them to scale, providing them with also working capital with some of our partner institutions like Lift Fund and Houston Business Development Inc. and we're helping with technical assistance. So as they're bidding on these projects and as they're trying to scale, working with bonding companies to help them to increase their bonding. And we're trying to assist them with becoming those primes that are going after big contracts with Houston Public Works. So steps to doing business with Houston Public Works, and this is pretty much the same with also housing and the Houston airport system, if you did not know. First thing you want to do is register as a vendor, because that webpage underneath that Houston purchasing at HoustonTX.gov, that's where you register. That is also where you find out opportunities. And so you won't be able to see the opportunities. And this is for people, I know some people on in this presentation are already currently doing this, but some people might not be fully aware of the process. And so you just want to make sure that your registration, well, first that you register as a vendor and that your registration is up to date. So if you change some phone numbers, or if your email has changed, or maybe the person that has the connection with the vendor registration is now not currently with your company, you want to make sure that that's updated so that you're getting the notifications. Because based on the commodity codes that you enter for your vendor registration, that's how you're getting the solicitations coming directly to your email. So yes, you can go to that website to search, and I encourage you to do that, to search every now and then on purchasing.houstontx.gov, which is our strategic procurement division webpage. But to make sure that you find out the additional information, you can find out the title and the due date. But if you want to get more information, you would have to be a registered vendor to find out the insurance requirements, the scope of work. So make sure that you're registered and make sure that your information is current. So even if you're currently registered, go in and just check. Then certification. So hopefully everybody that's listening to me right now is certified with the City of Houston. If you are not, hopefully you are in the process. And if those two things are not correct, then that website to get certified is HoustonTX.gov/OBO. They'll walk you through the process. They have videos talking about the different requirements of getting certified, so you can go check that out. The process, because they're not able to do a lot of the site visits, and also I think they're doing them virtually now, but also there's an increase of people trying to get certified now, because usually in these situations, we have when there's the economic uncertainty, a lot of people want to start or scale their business or looking at other markets of how to grow. So, so as soon as you can get started on the process of certification, please do so. And the last thing is to respond to communication with the primes, respond back to us if we're reaching out. So even if you can't do the work, if a prime contractor is reaching out to you for subcontracting opportunities, just be responsive and tell them, that we can't provide this particular service, or, we're booked up, we're at capacity right now. Would love to circle back, just so you can start to establish that relationship and make sure that you're participating, like Jason said, in our pre-bid meetings. They're going virtual, they're the conference calls, Teams meetings. Make sure you're connecting, because we have our prime contractors are looking to meet these goals, and they can only meet the goals with companies that are certified with the City of Houston. And so if you're on that call and they know that you're interested in this particular contract opportunity, then that's a sure way to get connected and potentially be on that bid with them. So with that, I will turn it back over so we can open it up for questions and continue on with our doing business with the city. So let me connect out of this, and thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. You all gave a wealth of information, and our questions are coming in fast and furious. So now I am going to bring on Janera Theory, who will facilitate our Q&A portion of the day. Janera.
Good morning, everybody. As Ms. Marchette said, I will be leading the Q&A portion. Our first question is for Ms. Franklin. Can you tell us more about Section 8? Section 8, sorry.
Thank you, Janera. Yes, Section 3 is a federal certification that is mandated by Congress in 1968, It was birthed during the Civil Rights era, and the importance of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968, known as Section 3, it ensures that small businesses are able to come to the table and gain preference as defined by the regulations. And the importance of Section 3, it's driven on federally funded projects when a project is triggered. In essence, if a project is $200,000 in excess, it is triggered on a project, which primarily our projects are $200,000 or over. But the beauty of Section 3, it also impacts contractors, subcontractors, if their contract is $100,000 or over. So Section 3 opens up a window not only for our prime contractors, it also directs the subcontractors to extend opportunities to vendors, subcontractors, and suppliers that are Section 3 certified. And it's a program that we encourage any business to obtain that Section 3 certification.
Thank you very much for that information. The next question is also for you, Ms. Franklin. The City of Houston Department is responsible for all of the Harvey redevelopment work. Can you explain how MBEs can partner with primes and who the major primes are for these projects?
Absolutely, yes. So the disaster Harvey dollars are well underway, and those efforts and that activity is very fluid. We do have the prime contractors that are under and are active on our projects found under our website under the disaster portion. But additionally, in terms of companies that are interested, please reach out to me, send me an email. Equally, you have my contact number where we can put you into that pipeline. For example, as on all of our work that we have pre-bids that come available when work is preparing to be let. But at the same time, the contractors, the subcontractors are actively engaged seeking to obtain minority women and small business goals as well as Section 3 goals. So 2 points is definitely go onto our website to identify our prime contractors that are listed, but at the same time, they're welcome to reach out to me because there may be activities that are being sought after that do not require a pre-bid.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a question for all three of you. Is there any business for executive search firms?
Miss Karen, you want to take that one first?
Of course, I'm happy to. So if I heard you correctly, Janera, executive search firms. So in yes, thank you. In our shop, we look for not only construction services, we do look for professional services. So not only are we working with construction vendors, but we also are working with professional services, whether they're working with our department and working on projects. So we would need to explore a little bit further when they're saying executive search, but we do work with companies to align with the full work that we have before us within housing and community development.
Thank you.
So I have not come across any opportunities with executive search on the Houston Public Works side. However, I know that there are government agencies that do use executive search options from time to time for positions. I know recently Harris County use the executive search team for a new position there. I know that HISD have used it for some of their leadership. And then I know that the police department, I wouldn't say executive search, but they do use some type of consultant for searching for different either officers or higher up positions. So the police department and other agencies. So it is possible, but depending on the amount or depending on the price for those type of services, it could be under $50,000 or it could be under a certain threshold where it will be considered like an informal bid. And so if it is an informal bid, then that would be a time where you want to build a relationship with either that particular department or government agency so that you can be considered when that time comes when they do need those services. So bids that are under $50,000, and I'm not sure of the price point. So this is just me speculating. But if the price point for those type of services is under $50,000, then we would consider that an informal bid, and those bids do not have to be listed either on our website or procured out or solicited through a Houston Business Journal or Houston Chronicle or things like that. However, though, this our new procurement team has looked to see if they could put as many informal bids on the webpage as possible. So that webpage that was on my presentation, the purchasing.houstontx.gov, it does list some informal bids that are under $50,000. So you can always check there. But again, yeah, building relationships with some of those departments or agencies that you would, based on research, identify if they would use that type of service.
Like I said, I've been with the Houston Airport System since 2012, and I have seen them use executive search firms probably twice. 98% of all the hires that we do are with our internal team, but for some of our senior level staff, we have used that. But you would have to kind of reach out to me directly. I don't know what procurement method they used. I don't know if we have like an on-call executive search firm or did they do bids? Because it was the last time I know that it happened about 5 years ago where they used an executive search firm for one of our deputy directors. But I would just need to kind of dig in a little deeper to do that. But again, 98% of all the hires we do at the Houston Airport System come through our HR team.
You're on mute, Ms. Marchette.
Thank you. Yeah, this mute button is having a time with all of us this morning. But thank you so much. Jason, our next question is for you. You mentioned the different airport projects that are underway. What stage are the major projects currently in, and are there second tier opportunities on those projects?
Absolutely, and not just second tier, third tier, fourth tier, and even some fifth tier opportunities. Our bigger projects, which would be our terminal, the redoing of the Mickey Leland International Terminal. So if you've ever flown out of Terminal D, if you've flown internationally, not with United, if Lufthansa, Air China, Singapore Air, all of those fly out of Terminal D. So we are going to totally redo that. And so they're probably about 90% of the way through the design. They have torn down old C North. So that's they're about to start construction. So some of the things that I showed in my presentation, that's kind of where it is. So those bid opportunities over the next year will be coming out. and those subcontractors have not been selected. Let me say that again. Those subcontractors and those second tier and third tier and fourth tier opportunities have not been selected. So every so often, Hensel Phelps and Austin Gilbane will do a virtual pre-bid to let everybody know what's going on. So there's a lot of opportunities, but we have not completed the design of those major projects yet. So, but it's coming soon.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Will. I think Janera is back, and I think the next question is for Will.
Yes, the next question is, based on your presentation, Will, it seems like there are some professional services opportunities. What type of professional services opportunities do you see within Public Works? We kind of did already address this one earlier. Can you provide further details, or was this answered?
It might not have been answered, but definitely just engineering services is the main opportunities that we have within Public Works, and actually we get most of our MWBE participation on professional service contracts, which deals with engineering. We have other than the engineering professional services opportunities, civil construction, and all those things. So you got engineers, you have testing, either with laboratory testing, project management, construction management, those type of services. We have a lot of opportunities there. If you have a certification, and then this is important too. So if you are certified or looking to get certified in engineering services, the owner of the company has to have that engineering license. So to get credit for your services on a Public Works project. However, if you're going after opportunities as a prime, you do not have to have that particular certification, or have to have the owner does not have to have the engineering license. But if it is for subcontracting and for goal-oriented projects, if you are looking to do engineering services for Public Works and have your certification in engineering services, then yes, the prime or the owner has to be certified in that particular area or have the license for that. But engineering services is the main thing for for our professional services contracts.
Okay, thank you. This question is for Jason. Actually for all three, because it's for either. So who can be the contact for the city department or at the airport system to offer COVID-19 related safety solutions?
So I would need a little more information, but I'm going to answer the question two ways. If you are looking to sell those to the Houston airport system, then we would need to get you in contact with one of our buyers, depending on what you are trying to sell, whether it's masks or gloves or hand sanitizer and things like that. If you are looking to sell that to the actual public, that's going to be a concessions. And all of our concessions programs are usually on a 10-year contract. So you would need to identify like what terminal, what airport, and then I can identify the concessionaire that's the prime, and you would need to go through that prime. But if the thought is about vending machines or things like that, the majority of all of the retail space in Intercontinental, as an example, is only in about year 3 of that contract. So you would not have, there wouldn't be any opportunity to like install a vending machine. We don't lease out vending machine spaces like that. The prime does that, and it's on a 10-year contract. And again, like I said, we're in about year 3 of that 10-year contract. So I hope I answered the question kind of as many ways as I could to get the answer across.
Thank you so much, Jason. So the next question is for all three departments. If a company has a new innovative product, is there a process to market the new products to the airport or for the city in general, rather than waiting for a relevant solicitation to publish?
Karen, we'll go with you first.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Clifton. I would say for any innovation product and or thought to go through our strategic purchasing, which is Jerry Adams, and that is found on our website, or they can reach out to me directly. And actually, I'll put the information for strategic purchasing on the chat, so you can gather that, pass that on to the audience, so they can have that. But that would be my recommendation, to go directly to our strategic purchasing with that thought.
I would say also make sure that you do as much research as possible to find out what the city's currently doing in that particular area. So if you have an innovative product that will help save the city money, make money, or make something easier, see what the city is currently doing so that you can compare what they're doing to your product. A lot of information can be found, on the website. So if you know that this particular product will help General Services Department or the airport or Public Works or, Houston Police or something like that, I would recommend as much as possible going to those websites and finding out if there's any information that kind of lends to assist you in your pitch to the city, to make sure that you're addressing the concerns that they need, or maybe you're addressing concerns that we don't know we should be looking at right now. But having as much information to share to show the city of Houston how we need this product and how it can fit into whatever is the current initiative that's going on with the city or that particular department, I think is critical in your pitch and trying to help the city understand how it can work. So sometime when you talk to different people from the city of Houston, or if you're talking to a buyer or something, if they can't understand how it fits or they can't see it, then it's challenging to point you in the right direction. And that's even with us. So if you were sitting down with me and trying to explain this product, the more information you know of how it can be used within the city can help someone like me point you in the right direction, or a Jason or a Karen, help us point you in the right direction of who you would need to talk to. So along with reaching out to strategic procurement or strategic purchasing, I would do as much research as possible too.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So the next question is, does the city of Houston have a task force to address COVID-19 related safety concerns and procure solutions for public buildings and airport system facilities? So Karen, can you address that first?
Thank you, Janera. To my understanding that yes, the city does have a COVID task force. I do not know. I think, I believe it's a part of the Office of Business Opportunity, which my colleagues can expound on that. But the city has on the front end, on the front end has immediately mobilized the importance of the COVID pandemic and pull together a team not only for supplies itself, but equally for solutions. And I was working with, when I would get information, I would forward that information over to Portia Jackson within the Office of Business Opportunity. So one, yes, the city does have one in place, but I do not know the makeup and where the starting point would be at.
Okay, thank you. And Jason, can you address that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm gonna have to co-sign with Karen on that one. The best starting point would be the Office of Business Opportunity for you to kind of get kind of the citywide holistic view. This is an interesting situation because of the nature. There was no planning. There was no putting it in the budget. There was no projection of when we'd need what service for what building and things like that. So a lot of the things that we're kind of doing now are spur of the moment. Well, let's do this and let's try that. I would definitely reach back out to OBO, Dr. Jackson, Portia Jackson, to find out kind of holistically, citywide, what method they're using to kind of put all that information together from the different people.
I would add to that just to kind of tell you or share what we are doing internally at the city, and so some of the things that we're doing to make sure that people are safe, the employees are safe. One, practicing social distancing throughout the different departments and buildings of the city. We also have temperature checks and when you're entering into the building to make sure your temperature is not over a certain level. Then you get a wristband to make sure that people know that your temperature has been checked, prior to you entering the building. Practicing social distancing on elevators as much as possible, so the elevators are not stuffed with people trying to get up to different floors. We have people working remotely, so there is teleworking happening throughout the city of Houston. So some of the buildings are not full to capacity, but people are working at home and trying to get adjusted there. And then when we are in the building, we are wearing masks. So, if I'm working both from home and also in the office. And when I'm in the office, I have an actual office. And so I keep my mask off. But anytime I'm running out of the office to go to get to the printer or something like that, I put my mask on. And so those are some of the things that we're doing in the city of Houston to keep us safe.
Okay, wonderful, and thank you for that. My apologies, Jason, but it seems as though I overlooked you for the previous question asked about marketing the products. If you could please expound on that, that was my mistake.
No worries at all. To piggyback on what Will said, I mean, these are relationships. If you're going to kind of let us know something that we don't know or sell us a product or a service that we're not currently in the market for, the best way to do that is relationships. The opportunities like Meet the Buyer or Contracts in 5, I believe I don't know if that's the new name. I have to ask Will that.
Contracts Connect.
Contracts Connect. I apologize. Contracts Connect. So those are the opportunities where Karen, Will, and myself are trying to put decision makers in front of the subcontracting and contracting community. Those would be the best avenues for you to go and find out who you need to talk to sell your service. That being said, homework. How do we procure services? How do we procure products? What do you need from the city of Houston? What does the city need from you to even get into that? All those things need to be done prior to kind of initiating that conversation, because it doesn't help anybody if we finally get in touch with the right person and they want to buy your service, but you haven't set up yourself as a vendor, or you haven't set up, all the other things that the city requires you to do to even do work with the city. So definitely do all your homework, but take advantage of the opportunities when you can be put in front of buyers or decision makers, pre-bids, things like that. You really need to kind of start there and then work your way to finding out exactly who that person you need to talk to is.
Wonderful, thank you for that. The next question is for Will. You all cover a very wide range of services for the city. How often are MBEs sought out for these various projects?
Thank you for the question. Constantly. Uh, as far as the city is concerned, we make up about roughly 40% of the total spend for MWBEs for the city of Houston, just with our one department. So majority of the dollars spent with certified firms in the city comes from Houston Public Works. And so we're constantly trying to find ways to make sure, one, that the companies that do win projects with the city are meeting their goals, and find another ways just to increase that opportunity. And that comes from the top down. So, and not just with the mayor and the council members, but also with our director of Houston Public Works, Director Haddock. She knows the importance of MWB participation to grow the city as a whole, and for innovative and new ways to take on the challenges that we have in Houston Public Works and maintain operations for our infrastructure. So we're constantly looking at ways, and you can look and find out what dollars are being spent with the city of Houston, well, in Public Works through the Office of Business Opportunity. On a quarterly basis and on an annually basis, they put out a report that talks about the awards that are happening within the fiscal year. So, you know, from all 4 quarters to the annual report, and that's listed on the Office of Business Opportunity webpage, so you can see the numbers. So, you know, the people are saying that, you know, there aren't opportunities with the city, or the city's not offering opportunities. Well, the numbers show that people are winning contracts, and I would say majority of the contracts that we have with the city of Houston or in Public Works have goals on them. So we have certified firms participating as primes on some of our projects, and then we also have a whole host of those certified firms participating as subcontractors. So to look at the numbers directly, you can go to the OBO website and pull up the reports that show.
And to add to that, Will, that was great information, but I also wanted to mention that we, HMSDC, have a memorandum of understanding with the City of Houston that allows our HMSDC certified MBE's application for certification with the City of Houston to be expedited. So I just wanted to, you know, throw that out there, that this is a member benefit for HMSDC certified MBEs.
That is correct. So getting your MBE certification with HMSDC can help move that process along because a lot of the information is the same, a little different, some additional information with the City of Houston, but it's definitely a benefit. And events like this, trying to make sure that you stay connected. And so when we're having our different events, so like one of the events that we're having coming up, and I'm glad Jason mentioned it, is Contracts Connect. So we, you know, at first we pushed it back for COVID because we didn't know. And now we understand the nature of what we're in. We're doing it virtually. And so we'll be putting out information for our virtual conference next month in September. And so once that flyer is created and open, and it's at no cost, HMSDC will be receiving that information so that they can send it out to you so that you can find out about the opportunities that are coming up within Public Works and hear from the different service lines directly about those opportunities. And that's another way that we're trying to advocate and promote and increase the access to opportunities that our certified firms get.
Oh, fantastic. Make sure we get that information. Is there a specific date? I know you said next month, but.
Yes. So we're trying to confirm the exact date. We know that the mayor's not moving around as much, and our director is not either, flying different places, but we just want to make sure that they're available so they can bring the proper greetings. And so once that is confirmed, so that they can address our small minority women-owned business community, we'll put that date out there, and then we'll line up with have the agenda ready for everybody to view and see the different presentations that we'll have virtually. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Janera, are there more questions? We want to take a couple more.
We do have a few more. To piggyback on what you've shared, Will, do you consider temporary agencies to do work for Public Works, like check the meters around the city?
I'm not sure of temporary agencies doing that work, but that is something that I can explore. Um, and especially when we have our Contracts Connect. So that will be one of our presentations, will be from customer account services. And so they can address some of the opportunities that they have and answer some of those questions. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen any opportunities like that, but that's not to say that they have not been or that there aren't any opportunities. But I'm just not 100% sure on it.
I understand the question was not directed towards me, but I would like to answer it. All of my maintenance contracts have temp services on them. The escalators, the elevators, the HVAC, all of my maintenance contracts have the use of temp services and staffing agencies and things like that. So definitely when you look at an opportunity coming out from the Houston airport system, in fact, we should have in the next year, we will have our HVAC contract coming back up. So they all request the use of temporary services. So definitely at the Houston airport system.
Hey, thanks for that, Jason, because I was thinking from a perspective of a direct contract for temp services. But you're right, as a subcontractor on some of those maintenance projects and other projects, we've seen staffing agencies and things like that listed as subcontractors supporting projects. So thank you for sharing that too, Jason. We do have that with Public Works.
Thank you very much. So this is a question for all three. How do you check compliance and utilization for MWDBE utilization in each of your departments? Are contracts monitored within your department or within the Office of Business Opportunity?
I'll go ahead and lead off with that question. Within our shop, contract compliance, that is our main footprint, is adherence, monitoring, and compliance. So in order for a project to receive their payment draw, that project needs to be in compliance. So that is at the forefront of what we do to ensure not only that the projects are adhering to these stipulated goals, but also to make sure there is that strong check and balance from our contract compliance team, which I am a part of. It is very important, and we take that true to heart in ensuring we're not here just speaking about what has to happen. We definitely have teeth to make sure that it is adhered to.
And speaking of things that Ms. Karen is a part of, I wanted to also jump in here real quick. Ms. Karen chairs our STAC committee, or Strategic Teaming Alliance committee. So how do each of you, and this is for all three of you, so how do each of you view strategic alliances? Is there or would there be an alliance value added? Would an alliance be viewed as a value added?
When you say alliance, I'm sorry, I'm going to need a little bit more.
So say we have two MBEs and they are teaming up. They are becoming an alliance. They're becoming a joint.
A joint venture.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So no. Okay. I'm with you. Yeah. So no. We definitely encourage a joint venturing. We see it. We see the joint venturing a lot more on our concessions projects because of the size and the scope, and it's the best way to get minority participation. We see a lot of joint venturing on our professional services. When you look at engineering, architects, planning, financial services, you'll see a lot of joint venturing there. But on construction, it's a little bit harder because of the size of our projects. When we see the joint venturing on the bigger projects, it's normally between two large primes. Like our Austin and Gilbane. But those typically, my construction projects where I see a lot of the joint ventures are probably 350 million and up. So those are really a lot larger, but we definitely see them on the professional services and our concessions in the concessions world.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and Marcianette, as you have, and if I may just add to that comment, to Jason's comment, within our space with affordable housing and community development, we do have a lot of alliance, a lot of teaming on our projects throughout the scope of services. So it is very common within our various projects for construction, for rehab, and including professional services.
If I could jump back a little bit to the previous question. So my office is responsible for contract compliance. I've got 3 individuals on my team that do the contract compliance, and we monitor these contracts for what is called a commercially useful function. If I have somebody that's supposed to be pouring concrete on one of my runways, you know, it's my responsibility and my team's responsibility to go out there to make sure that they're the people that they have on that site doing that particular work. And we do that in conjunction with the project managers and the safety people, because there's at the Houston Airport System, there's always a HAS employee on all the construction, whether it be QA/QC, safety, operations, all of that. So we really use them to make sure we find out who's on site. With the Houston Airport System, it's a little easier because we have to control our sites. We know exactly who's coming and who's going on those particular sites. So it makes it a little easier for us to do that commercially useful function audit.
Fantastic.
And for Public Works, OBO monitors Public Works contracts for contract compliance.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. The next question is for Jason. With the international terminal expansion, will that include the need for new PBBs or passenger boarding bridges?
Yes. So, and it's not just for the International Terminal D, but we actually are going to be doing some work to Terminal A. So definitely they are going to be buying more bridges. Whenever we do that, unless the bridges that we purchased, as an example, we purchased, it's kind of like 2, but it's actually 4 for our A380s, because on an A380 plane, you can board the second deck and the first deck at the same time. So those are relatively new. Now, as part of Terminal D, we're going to expand from 2 A380 gates to, I believe, 4. So we will be purchasing 2 more of those. But because the A380 gates are less than like 5 years old, we probably won't be replacing the ones that are currently installed. But for the other, I think it's 16 gates, we will be buying new jet passenger boarding bridges or jet bridges.
Okay, wonderful. The next question is for all departments. Do your departments offer training for small minority businesses?
I'll go ahead and lead off with that. Within our department, we do provide quarterly trainings within all of our areas for under contract compliance for the minority, women, small business for our projects, including our Section 3 training and our portfolio compliance. That training has been done on site every quarter, and we have not yet launched the virtual training, which we forecast that will start in September. And the purpose of the training is how to be a part of our federally funded projects in all of the 4 sectors, and how to adhere to the compliance and what that compliance looks like, which includes Davis-Bacon.
Jason?
Yes, we do. Again, to Karen's point, we used to do quarterly trainings, and our trainings are about how you comply with all of our program. So our training consisted of pay or play, prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon, and Little Davis-Bacon, and the use of the B2G in confirming payments and disputing payments. It took about it was about a 3-hour training. And so now we're looking at trying to do one more training, not virtually, but with no audience, and then record it, and then put that on our website. So that way, if you wanted to go and figure out how to properly do Davis-Bacon on a Houston Airport System project, you could go to just that section. Or you had questions about the pay or play program, you could go to just that section. So we're kind of trying to do that now, but we do offer trainings as far as compliance on Houston Airport System projects.
And Will?
Yes, any training that we offer is just through the Office of Business Opportunity, because we're an extension of them. So some of the trainings that they offer is one for certification. There's also training around in department services about good faith efforts and what that process is. Some of that information is available on the OBO's webpage, which discuss the requirements around good faith efforts and putting together participation plans, so people can understand that process if you are prime or if you're a sub, to understand how that works. We have a new pay or play system that's being incorporated. I think Jason kind of touched on that within the B2G system right now, which houses the contract compliance services, and then also your certification if you are certified with the city. So there are video trainings that are being created around that as well. And then the other trainings that we do directly is just through our Mentor Protege program with some different training presentations for those companies that are that apply and are selected to participate in that program. And then we have training directly for our small contractors rotation program.
Fantastic. Well, certainly this has been a whole lot of information, about a lot of valuable information. We are truly appreciative of, all of the information that you all have given. I do want to mention that the City of Houston has a couple of programs, and Ms. Karen, feel free to jump in if I miss anything, but they have a rental assistance program, and you see it on the screen. The information is at the bottom, so please take advantage of this program. I know many people are suffering during this COVID season, and with all of the layoffs and unemployment. So take advantage of these city programs and see how you can benefit from them. Again, enrollment for this rental assistance program is August 17th through the 26th. Right. And then you see on the screen what you need to have in order to qualify for this program, what the landlord must have versus what the tenant must have. The tenant enrollment for this rental assistance program is the 24th through the 30th. So again, take advantage of these programs that are offered. The assistance is there, so make sure you utilize it properly and for your benefit. They also have, it's in a small business economic relief program, and that's the second slide that we see here on the screen, Janera. So we want to make sure we take advantage of that as well. Now, Ms. Karen, did you want to jump in and say more about that program?
Oh, no, the emphasis for that program, thank you, Marchette, and equally Janera, is to make sure that our small businesses in our community as a whole, that the city is here to support you, whether it be during this COVID period and or these economic challenges that are before all of us. In terms of the second one you have before you, it is a small grant program for the businesses. And I'm sorry, can't see all the details that it's listed, but I believe that possibly should be a part of the city as well as the Harris County. But more importantly, it's just underscoring the position of the city of Houston, that we are here to ensure and to enhance the quality of life for all of our neighbors, for all of those that we serve, our residents and our business. And the city is continuing to think of ways and secure funds so that we can do just that. We know, going back to the COVID, the critical piece of the rental assistance, but far more equally for our businesses, not in terms of seeking for a loan, but this is grant dollars. So we not only wanted to impart economic opportunities, but we also wanted to let you know we're here to assist you in some of the most basic needs. And these are two perfect examples of that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that information. And Ms. Karen, I think that Small Business Economic Relief Program is what, $50,000?
That is correct. A $50,000 grant that was just released, yesterday, I believe. And again, I don't have the details right in front of me, but it's so that the businesses can apply. The City of Houston Council, the mayor and the council approved, it was either $15 or $12 million that would go towards, this pool of grant funds for small businesses within our communities.
If I can jump in, it's up to 50,000. So the focus of the grant is 3 months worth of expenses. So the other part of it is chambers and small businesses can apply. It is not going to be on a first come, first serve. The online applications opened on Friday, and then when they close, then they will evaluate all of the applications. So it wasn't what they want. They were trying to get away from everybody just trying to be first, just trying to get their application first so they can get that. So they're not going to do it on a first come, first serve basis. It will be evaluated after it's all stopped. And but it's 3 months. They're looking for either last year's tax returns and or a profit and loss statement. But all of the things, and you have the flyer there. You can go to the link to get all the specific details. But it's up to 50,000. But it's whatever your 3 months worth of expenses is.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason.
Fantastic. And again, we want our audience to take advantage of these city programs. The information is there, it's available. You have contact information at the bottom for both. And again, we understand that now is a tough time for people. So we want to present you with the information that can help you move forward during this time. So with all of that said, I think this will conclude our How to Do Business with the City of Houston webinar. Thank you so much to Ms. Karen Franklin, Mr. Will Norwood, and certainly Mr. Jason McLemore. We are indeed delighted to be your partners, and we thank you for this time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.